Well, perhaps not. But I know I have to beat time when I play music.
That accounts for it. He won't stand beating. Now, if only you kept on good terms with him, he'd do almost anything you liked with the clock. For instance, suppose it were 9 o'clock in the morning, just time to begin lessons. All you'd have to do is whisper a hint to time, and round goes the clock in a twinkling, 1:30, time for dinner.
I only wish it were.
That would be wonderful indeed. But I shouldn't be hungry for it, you know.
Not at first, perhaps, but you can keep it to 1:30 for as long as you like.
Is that how you manage?
Not I. We quarreled last March, just before he went mad, you know. It was at the great concert given by the Queen of Hearts, and I had to sing, "Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder what you're at." You know the song, perhaps?
I've heard something like it.
It goes on, you know, in this way. Up above the world you fly, like a tea tray in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle. At any rate, I'd hardly finished the first verse when the Queen jumped up and bawled out, "Is man in the time off with his head?"
How dreadfully savage.
I know. Ever since then, he won't do a thing I ask. It's always 6 o'clock now.
Dear. Is that the reason that there are so many tea things laid out?
Yes, that's it. It's always tea time, and we've no time to wash the things between whiles.
And I suppose you move around?
Exactly so, as the things get used up.
But what do you do when you come to the beginning again?
I'm tiring of this subject. I vote that the young lady tells us a story.
I'm afraid I don't know any.
Oh, the doormouse shut.
Wake up, dollhouse.
I wasn't asleep. I heard every word you fellows were saying.
Tell us a story.
And be quick about it, or you'll be asleep again before it's done.
Once upon a time, there lived 3 little sisters, and their names were Elsie, Lacey, and Tilly. And they lived at the bottom of a well.
What did they live on?
They lived on treacle.
But they couldn't have done that, you know. They'd have been ill.
So they were very ill.
But I don't understand. Where did they draw the treacle from?
You can draw water from a water well. So I should think you can draw treacle from a treacle well, eh, stupid?
Why do they live at the bottom of the well?
Take some more tea.
I haven't had any yet. So how can I take more?
You mean you can't take less? It's very easy to take more than nothing.
Nobody asked your opinion.
Who's making personal remarks now?
Why do they live at the bottom of the well?
It was a treacle well.
There's no such thing.
Shush! Yeah, shush.
Be civil. You better just finish the story for yourself.
I'm sorry. I'll be quiet. I'm sure there may be one.
One indeed. And so these 3 little sisters, they were learning to draw, you know.
What did they draw?
Treacle.
A clean cut. Let's all move one place on.
But I don't understand. Where did they draw the treacle from?
From the well.
But they were in the well.
Of course they were. Brilliant.
Then you shouldn't talk.
This is the stupidest party I was ever at. I'm never coming here again. I wonder where this road leads. What? Why, that's the garden.
At last!
We would like to take this opportunity to announce a 15-minute intermission. Thank you.
Yeah.